So for you all that don't know, Be Victorious podcast is officially 3 years old.
Wow.
The bomb drop.
Okay. And with that being said, I am very happy to say this is the first time we have ever done a live.
Can I get another bomb, please?
Another bomb, please. Shout out to my son. His real name is Trayvon Cooley, known to everyone as Mr. Superman himself, DJ Skinny. I always wanted to know why you wanted Skinny, but okay.
Our son is Spider-Man, so it kind of works.
Yeah, I don't So with that being said, I am happy to be here with these lovely people. What I love about Amanda and Legend, the name by itself is amazing.
Thank you.
What I love is that they have this foundation called 300 Letters. Now, I will share with you all, Jess Brown, she's called you all know her on social media as Maverick, my mommy, I believe.
Oh.
She's an ACES ambassador. What she did was introduce me to you all because she wanted me to look into you all's organization. So can you tell us about 300 Letters?
Absolutely. Oh, you want to give us a mic, or we just put it like
We're
that?
good? Oh, you can hear us. We're good?
Check.
Y'all just talk. Go ahead, get ready.
Well, first off, we're so happy and so honored to be here. We flew all the way from Miami, guys.
What's up, Chicago?
The 305. But 300 Letters is a nonprofit organization. It's a community, but it's really a lifeline of our journey through incarceration. So 300 Letters actually represents the amount of letters that we wrote to each other while we were incarcerated. And 300 Letters is an organization that offers mental health, emotional support, just different resources for families who are currently navigating an incarceration experience. Children with justice-impacted parents, that is who we work with, and that's a little bit about 300 Letters.
Yeah.
So you said you all wrote 300 letters to each other?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And you wrote to each other in jail?
In prison,
Yeah.
yep,
So
in federal
you
prison.
two were in federal prison.
Yeah, kind of my fault on that part.
Okay.
No, that wasn't your.
So let's take a pause. Educational pause.
Thank you.
An incarcerated parent falls under what category? Oh, okay.
It's one of
You know what we're
the.
here for, right?
It's one of the original ACEs.
It really is one of the original ACEs, which means you all know that there's an additional part to the ACEs. See,
They know.
which means you know about ACEs and have an ACEs score.
Absolutely.
We do.
What's your ACEs score?
We have the same score.
Yeah.
Oh, that's romantic.
We do everything
kind of way, I
together.
guess it is.
We do everything together.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's make sense of this, because remember, we don't talk about ACEs. You all were an incarcerated couple. When did this start? Were you all boyfriend and girlfriend before you went to?
Yeah. Do you want to? Okay.
Yeah.
That you?
Well,
Yeah.
I think it started with our ACEs, to be honest with you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because this is something that is very much started from childhood. And the way we came together, it's a long story. I guess we got time. But so we met each other on college night in Miami. And, you know, a lot played out. But in short, we were both kind of like the same soul. Like we were both like kind of like just lost and navigating through life, just doing what we knew out of survival. And I don't know, when I was drawn to her and I met her, We kicked it off immediately, but I just always wanted to like support her, be there for her. Like I was always that role in my household since 16, 15. I was already like the man of the house. And then I met this motherly figure. Well, like she was already a mother, but she just like wore it. So like it wasn't like a new mother. It felt like she had just been a mother her whole life. And I knew right then that this is the woman I wanted for the rest of my life and to raise my kids. So like it just kind of how we just kind of got drawn together. And I know that's like one of the aces as well, like just starting off and having to take on that responsibility very early. So we were both in a survival mindset, I would say, which made us make these decisions together. And I was obviously on that path, and I was like, you want to ride with me? And she was riding with me. And then before I knew it, we had this whole story where now, you know, we incarcerated. First, I get my bachelor's degree in December, and by January, I get a federal indictment. And so everything kind of played out from there. But, you know, 2 weeks into her incarceration sentence, she finds out that she's pregnant. So now we got a whole other situation happening. She's going to give birth in there. I'm about to go in prison myself. So, you know, 300 letters down the road, we have another newborn. We have 2 kids. And I mean, here we are, and we're like, what are we going to do? Are we just going to let this situation pass by us? Because we could just bounce back from it and continue life, or we could just take action on this and actually do something about the people who are in our situation, who want to do better and who want to know that this one thing doesn't define us, that it's something that, you know, we can move past and we still deserve to have a good life and to still thrive with everything that we've been through. So, yeah.
Superhero. Superhero. Okay. Federal prison.
Yes.
And you were in jail with a baby?
So, a first-time offender, never been in trouble in my life, you know, that is something that I had never even thought of. But coming from a family in survival mode, you know, my upbringing was very unstable in a sense where mom and dad were separated since I was born. One lived across the country, and it was like back and forth my entire life. So it was always about the now, the making new friends, how is my life going to go now, and then it was never about the future. So when I think about when I got in trouble, a federal indictment at the age of 23, we were 23 when that happened, we're 34 now. It was not something that I ever thought could happen. Right. Not a possibility, not something that popped up in my mind, making unaware decisions, you know, hey, can you send this through Western Union, babe, during your lunch break, during your 12-hour shift? Absolutely, I'll send the money, quick. It's something, so that unawareness and that survival mode and living in that state of mind, you're not thinking of possibilities. You're not thinking of outcomes. You're not in a state of creation. And that's where we both were. We were both there. So to tell me at 23 that I was going to be sentenced to a 2-year sentence in a federal prison, I thought my world was completely over. My oldest son was 5 at the time. I couldn't imagine what my future was going to hold and how I was going to be able to navigate now that journey. 2 weeks after I get there, I find out I'm pregnant. And it was a huge shock, something we were not, like, that was way behind. That wasn't something we were thinking about either, you know? And I find out I'm pregnant, and it was because I was there and I just went for a jog. I was like, okay, there's nothing else to do. I got to work out. So hence why we're personal trainers now. So I go on a jog and I feel a cramp, and I'm like, that's not normal. I'm pretty fit. I shouldn't be feeling a cramp right now while I'm running. Yeah. So I tell him, like, the next day, I actually go to the medical and I'm like, hey, can we do a pregnancy test? I actually realized that my cycle was late, and she was like, no, we can't do that on a Sunday. Come back tomorrow, the nurse, which, shout out to her. She became a real huge support system for me during that time. And I just, like, I remember the guilt just overcoming my entire body. Like, I just remember freezing and thinking about my oldest son, thinking about the experience that we were currently navigating and what that was going to look like for us.
Do you all know that no one has ever asked them their story?
In pieces.
Yeah, it's never been like the whole thing. Everybody knows already the reason why we created 300 letters, as far as we were incarcerated, we were in a prison, we came home, we got back on our feet. We created this for people like us and for families to thrive after this experience, which is already traumatic in itself and, needs more light shed upon it. But nobody has asked us the backstory or how it led to us making these crazy decisions, which at the time didn't seem crazy, it just seemed normal to us. You know what I mean? So I actually had this conversation with her earlier, like why did we decide to just do these things, and why didn't you run away the second I told you some crazy shit? You know what I mean? Like why didn't you just turn around and run the other way? Because it didn't seem crazy to her. It didn't seem crazy to me either. It just seemed like
it was normalized.
It was normalized. I was numb to it.
Red flags are always normalized.
Yeah.
And all right.
But when they start from your household, right? Then it's even trickier to manage or be aware of or even understand.
Right.
So when these red flags are coming from home, from your family, from the people that we trust to guide seasons of our life and help us manage certain situations, but when you don't have conversations that are needed in every household with every child, that's when things can take a turn really quick. 15 seconds, a decision of 15 seconds can lead to a lifetime in prison, a life sentence.
But look at God.
Yeah,
God.
but look at God every single day, every day.
And that's the reason why 300 letters is thriving.
Absolutely.
Always, amen.
So I will share, because me and Amanda, so don't
We've gotten
get
close.
you guys.
But we've gotten close.
Like everybody. We talk like 2 or 3 times a week. And the other day she was on her way going to the prison. So tell us more about your service and what you guys do.
So 300 Letters, we have 4 core programs. We have Healing Hearts, which is a 12-week program for justice-impacted parents with minor children, family therapy, emotional support, life coaching, and a child care financial stipend so that families can focus on healing and rebuilding their family post-navigation. So, thank you. So that program is for parents with minor children, and that program is to help families understand their journey and have access to therapy and resources and the community that they need to understand their adverse childhood experiences, the trauma in their lives that have led to incarceration, but also educate. A lot of people don't know that just like 1 in 3 people have an ACE score, 1 in 3 people have a criminal background. More people in our country have a criminal background than people with a bachelor's degree. We have the highest incarceration rates in the world. 25% of the world's incarcerated population is right here in the US, but we only make up 4% of the world population.
So let's stop and pause for this educational because living with an incarcerated parent is under what category?
Household dysfunction.
And I tell you, Francine knows that already.
Shout out to Francine.
Okay. Because we're not having this conversation, you guys. But do you hear you guys going, ooh, ah. We normalize it. They just came down here spitting some facts. And the fact is, I've never been in federal prison. They have. If you want to know seriously why people like us pour into our not-for-profits, it's because it's real. They don't want those children to go through what they went through.
Absolutely not.
That's 6 times more likely.
Because I don't want people to go through what I've been through it already. Bullying? I was not the bullier, I promise, but I protected myself. But there was bullies out there. It's real. And it starts, like you said, in the family.
In the family. Since the inception of the organization, it always starts with family. So to rebuild and restructure a family that has gone through incarceration is critical, not only to the family, to the individuals and the children, but to the community at large. People think, oh, that's their issue, not me. But currently, 1 in 14 children in the U.S. have a parent that's incarcerated right now. And that's a huge number. That's a huge number. So if we care about nurturing and pouring into our future generations, this is a conversation that has to be had.
And this is a conference for awareness, community,
She's so animated.
and empowerment. So,
Let's get
yeah,
them
I
here.
thought you knew I was extra based on how we talk.
We're so extra, but
Oh,
now
yeah,
you're
yeah,
extra.
extra.
I love it. If you don't, I love it.
And
I'm
the
here
people
for
that
it.
know, well, everybody in here know me. Y'all know I am extra. Helene, you ain't gotta keep dancing through your head like that. I am. But facts is facts.
Yep.
That's just like 1 in 3 have an ACEs score. But let's be clear, the 1 in 3 in here is everybody.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to have a conversation. We want to act like we perfect, but we was all born in the sin. Oh, okay, y'all want to have a conversation. Okay, we'll wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me go back to the Tartars. Because when I think of superheroes, this is what I think about. Because we want to think something's wrong with having aces when we're all a success story.
Absolutely.
Have you been out of prison? He has. And if he can come out and help other people, how come we can't do that? That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm always gonna call you a superhero.
Yeah, well, I think though, I actually came in to tell everybody in this room who has an ace that we are superheroes because we could use our aces to turn it into a power, right? And I mean, it's a couple ways to do that, but first we have to address, and that's what we're doing here, right? Acknowledging that it exists, acknowledging that aces makes a difference in the way that we come up in life, the way that we handle ourselves, the way we think, the way we move, everything like that. And then once we acknowledge that, then we could take that power, or take that ace, and we have a decision to make at that point. We could either be a victim or we could be victorious. Hold on now. I ain't gonna charge you for that one. I'm gonna let you hold on to that. Yes. So, so yeah, we all have a choice to make, right? Because we could have easily got our time and sat in bed and cried for 2.5 years, 3 years, but we decided to take our time and run with it and do something that means something, right? So, the first thing I did was I made an action plan. I was like, all right, I know that fitness is popping. I know that people need 3 things in all walks of life. They need fitness, they need music, they need food. So I'm gonna pick something in these areas. I was a rapper too, by the way. I ain't doing that no more right now. But you can look me up on YouTube, BTM Legend. We ain't gonna do that right now.
Our son does it all the time.
So I decided to go into fitness because I was working out like 3-4 hours a day. And, I really got a lot of discipline out of that. It made me feel good. It made me feel good mentally, physically, obviously. On top of that, I had to stay on top of my game for this woman right here because I knew she was going to be looking good when I came home. So I had a lot of work to do. But with that said, you have the decision that you have to make, right? And I made my action plan. The action plan that we have to do for something like this is first we have to recognize, right? We have to recognize the ace. We have to know what we're dealing with in order to proceed from it.
Hey, you guys, it's me, Dr. Torie. My book is officially out. And yes, it is time to talk about aces. You guys can find the books everywhere. However, I would encourage you guys to go to my website, VicTORIEus.com, and place your order today. Yes, it's time to talk about aces. Let's go, y'all.
So we recognize, we reframe. It's a lot of power in reframing. For example, the word felon, they're going to call us felons for the rest of our life. So we decided to reframe that mindset. And we took the word, and now it means formally entrap leaders, overpowering negativity. All right. So we don't call us that forever. We're going to reframe it, right? And so then finally you got to rebuild. So now we have all this knowledge, we have the mindset, but now we have to produce something. We have to produce books, we have to produce organizations, we have to produce businesses and hire people who are affected like us. Because my first job in fitness was given to me by somebody who was also locked up in the same prison as me. You know what I mean? So we have to hold ourselves to higher standards, recognize, and that's another power that we have too, is that we empathetic towards that, because we've been through this. So now we could go ahead and take that pain and we could recognize it in other people and know that what they've been through and know when somebody needs a break. And so by doing all these things, we could take action steps and use our story to make a better outcome for our children and make a better outcome for our community. So yeah.
Love it. So we can talk about this all day, but we got a whole conference tomorrow, right? Tell us where we can find first 300 letters and you, because there might be some people that want fitness,
Yeah.
or honestly, sharing your story,
Yeah.
because it's a lot of felons, and I'm saying felons on your acronym,
Mm-hmm.
that need to know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know that. Like you said, some people take that. Depression and anxiety is real. People don't know that it's really an illness.
I was dealing with like functional depression when I got home, and anxiety through the roof. Where when I returned home as a mother of 2 children and he was still incarcerated, where some people experiencing that, they don't know where to start, right? It's an overwhelmingly feeling of, I don't know where to start. They go inward. Me, I was like an energizer button, where I was trying to do every single thing in one day, in one moment. And it caught up to me in a really hard way, So yeah, it is very real, and we deal with it without even knowing, because in my
As a
household,
mother.
yeah.
We go through so much as a mother, and your kids watched you go through that. Shout out to the kids.
Shout out to them. Shout out to
Because
them.
we got to wear this mask regardless.
Mhm.
And I think that's why it's called functional depression, because we can't, as mothers, sit around. We don't have time.
We can't.
But for the ones that have, what do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, we can continue to have this conversation and we want to do it more, but let them know where they can find you.
So all of our programs are virtual, and
Which, by the way, you only went through one.
oh, I only went through one program. It's okay. But our website, 300letters.org, our Instagram handle, Facebook is the same, LinkedIn is the same, all of that. But we serve families through one of our programs all across Florida, so you don't have to be in Miami, all across Florida. And one of our programs for caregivers of minor children with an incarcerated parent. That one we have currently families all over the nation, in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, because it's an empowerment series. So we're not nationwide, but one day we will be, that's the goal. But we are serving families all over the nation.
So
Congratulations.
300letters.org for everything.
300letters.org.
So where can they find you guys?
Personally,
Truth by man.
Where can they find you guys?
Truth by man.
oh, personal handle, sorry. I'm like, wait, physically, you want to pull up to the gym? You want to do a workout? My Instagram handle is Truth by Amanda Tarver.
And my Instagram handle is I Am Legend Fitness. And then the gym I'm at in Miami is the best gym in Miami. Legacy, no days off.
And his real name, you guys, is Legend.
The real name.
Mm-hmm.
When I met
Living
him, I was
the
like,
truth.
let me see your license. As soon as I met him, I was like looking at him, let me see.
Y'all been happily ever after.
We got close now.
Well, I thank you guys, because we got a lot going on. I appreciate you guys telling your story, because again, you're superheroes. So if you are a superhero, what superhero would you be? And we'll end with that.
Ooh, you go first.
I guess based off the superpower I got, I'm Hancock.
Okay.
Can I get yours?
Yeah, please.
She Mrs. Incredible.
That's why that's your name. I want to hear that. She already know. Well, as the Wonder Woman I am, you all have seen another episode, my first live episode. I think we got so much. And you guys can find me, Dr. VicTORIEus, everywhere. I have a YouTube channel that you all need to subscribe to. It's Dr. VicTORIEus. I'm Dr. VicTORIEus on Instagram, Facebook. My website is vvictorious.com. I also have a book called It's Time to Talk About Aces. Why? Because we are superheroes. So thank you guys again for coming. God bless. Good night.